Okay, everybody. Well, welcome to our daily WBRx Zoom call. And guys, we just are excited about all the great things that are going on. I know that Sean and I have been spending, a lot of time over the last couple days with some phenomenal new business that's growing. And we've got some people on the call here that are doing a magnificent job. Just in their respected areas. I know that Ryan Rennick, we had a great call yesterday within your group, and you've got some fantastic things taking place. 2 new PPCs that are in the process of onboarding this week. And big shout out and congratulations to you for all that you've done to provide that opportunity. And we know that we got a lot of great things going on in Michael Mandiver's business. That business is starting to bump up and explode with great things happening with Hunter Martin. We've got some great stuff going on with his father, Art. And just across the board, guys, just really a lot of phenomenal new growth as we kind of come down to the last phase of April of 2020. I don't know that anyone will ever forget the months of March and April 2020, but in those 2 months, this company took on a new level of growth. I think we're, Sean, somewhere in the area of about 35 to 40% increase in our revenue. And it really, I just continue to message the same information. It's really about 3 things. Number one is we're capturing an audience at a time where people are available and accessible to share and to listen to information. I think that the other component of what's taken place is that you've got social anxiety at an all-time high, and we happen to have a product that you're going to hear about today from Dr. Jasani that addresses social anxiety at a very high level. And I think that the other thing is just a leadership within WBRx with our brand partners and our medical professionals that are attributing to this growth. So guys, what we really emphasize within WBRx is a lot of information and education. So today is going to be no different. Today we have an opportunity here from from Dr. Nick Jasani, board certified oncologist, one of the folks that one of the medical providers that is also on the front line. And I've asked him to join us for the day, and he's going to come on and just walk us through some of the various components within the Greenway DNA relationship, and then also talk to us about the value-added proposition within the meter dose inhaler within Wellness Biosciences RX. So with that said, Dr. Jasani, I'm going to turn the call over to you, sir. If you're in a position to put your camera on, that'd be great. If not, no problem. We're excited to have you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Barry. Welcome, everyone. I hope everyone's and their families are home safe and sound. I know these are tough times, a lot going on, but I wanted to kind of highlight a little bit about some of the products that we've launched and kind of how we came to fruition on finding out about them, what research we played, and why we decided to partner with these companies. So, the first product is the DNA Greenway test. And then the second one is the meter dose inhaler. So when we really talk about this DNA-based test, it's a pretty unique way to really use modern cutting-edge technology to really guide us on how do we dose CBD and THC-based products. This has been an ongoing issue since THC and CBD have hit the market for years now. On how do we dose these products? There's lots of issues with bioavailability as they are lipid or fat-based molecules, and we're water-soluble based people, so it makes it more difficult when you absorb and you bypass, or you result in metabolism of the products to the liver, and everyone gets different dosing levels, different efficacy based on their receptor status, how fast it gets into the bloodstream, etc. So dosing has always been start low, work your way up. What Greenway DNA has done is, and they've really done this based on a platform that there's a few other companies that have done this also, is taken technology that's already out there, which is basically based off of our ability to map the genome. And we are now able to scale it to where we can assess people's DNA and DNA mutations rather fast and in a pretty comprehensive way. And we're now able to see a lot of these companies are doing off-the-shelf DNA testing, such as Ancestry, Me, 21andMe, etc. Now, we don't have validation on what that means. And that is very important to understand that, you know, as an oncologist, we have validated data in the DNA and mutational testing for cancers because we spend a significant amount of time doing it in well-controlled clinical trials. When you look at the technology, it's the same technology that they're doing for Ancestry and me and some of these other ones. Now, what that validation of those mutations they find, we don't know. But we suspect, and that's kind of where we jump into the cannabis and the CBD realm on how do we use this DNA technology in testing individuals and helping with maybe setting a floor for dosing for CBD and THC. And essentially the science and technology behind it is based on something called SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms. There's millions of these single nucleotide mutations throughout our DNA. It's everywhere. Now, some of them don't result in anything. They're in non-coding regions of the DNA. Other ones are in critical portions of genes that code for certain proteins that may affect the downstream protein to the point where it has physiologic differences in the body based on what SNPs you personally have. That is where the trick is. And what they've done is they've gone through a repository, and there is lots of data with this overseas and all over the country, actually, where they will look for certain SNPs in CB1 receptor, CB2 receptor. They'll look at the serotonin receptor. They'll look at the GABA receptor. These are all the receptors where CBD binds to. If you have a certain SNP in a serotonin receptor, it may allow us to be able to predict how well the CBD will affect that individual. Does it allow the serotonin receptor to work even better at a very low dose of CBD? Does it cause a mutation in the receptor where you need actually very high doses of CBD? And that's a simplistic way to look at it, but that is essentially what they're doing. So they compiled a whole host of these SNPs with downstream effects on certain receptors. They then looked at the SNPs for other things, such as the breakdown enzyme for serotonin. If you have a mutation in that enzyme, then therefore you may get serotonin hanging out longer. Therefore, you may not need as much dosing. So these are all, the science behind it gives us a lot of raw data. Then they have to figure out how do you process that data into something that is applicable. How do you tell someone, hey, for pain, you need this amount of THC and CBD? They then have a patented algorithm based on all this data where they put in the information of the SNPs based on data that come from a national repository. And there is science behind this. There is data on this in preclinical studies on which SNPs they're looking at. Then it goes through their algorithm, and then it puts out, and it says this person with this profile of SNPs in the serotonin receptor may do better with this level of CBD. This person is looking for pain. This person has this profile of single nucleotide polymorphisms. They may do better with this concentration of high dose THC to low CBD, etc. So that's how they've done this. And not only that, they will go back to this repository, as do the other DNA, cannabis, and CBD companies. They all go to the same one, and they continue to add data to it, so everyone benefits. And eventually you'll get, as this industry grows over the next few years, a large amount of data where scientists and other clinicians who are studying CBD and dosing and these SNPs will be able to process it to get even more data and to be able to streamline this. Right now, this is an early stage issue. This is an issue where we're using the technology to really guide us where we are completely flying in the dark and we are blind, which is dosing for CBD and cannabis. So when you look at this, the way that the company works is you order the test. It comes as a box and a kit with a little tube and very self-explanatory instructions. You put out your saliva in the tube up to the level, you cap it, you send it back. You also do a survey. And that survey in the beginning kind of queries you on what are you looking for out of CBD? Are you looking for anxiety relief, insomnia, pain, neuropathy? That goes into the database because it makes a difference. And then they process your DNA, they put out a report, and they send it to you. The report is quite detailed. And then it's simplified on the beginning to really tell you, okay, this is what you were looking for. This is what the dosing we recommend based on your mutation profile. And then it breaks it down on the latter few pages on what exactly are those mutations, down to the reference. And it may not make a lot of sense to individuals, but the data is very transparent and it's given to you. So the way I look at this is it's a one-time test. You don't need to keep doing it because your DNA is relatively stable. It will tell you a floor on where to start. And you have to take it and understand that we don't have a lot of trials and data behind it. But the next best option is to do nothing and just to start low and work your way up, which is basically what everybody's telling everyone. So this is a little bit of a scientific way to be able to get yourself a report that guides you on what should the dosing possibly be for CBD THC based on certain ailments. They are also going back to these patients and they are going to do trials where they look at them and say, hey, you were dosing before you did this report and after. Can we see, is there a difference? Did our dosing accuracy help you? Did you really gain actually more benefit by dosing it this way from the report? And this is where I think we'll get more and more data as we get more and more companies and people using this. So now this test is offered, it's on the site. I would urge you to try it. I mean, we've done it. It's a really interesting report. And then as we get more and more data, we'll be able to fine tune the science. So that's the Greenway DNA test. The meter dose inhaler is an extremely exciting product that we now have active on the market. And Wellness Bioscience is probably one of the only companies that have, it is the only company that has this, doing it in the process that we're doing it with. And the company that we've licensed it from is a highly reputable company. And when we talk from a big picture view, what is the meter dose inhaler and why are we so excited about it? And why do we feel that it adds so much value in the CBD space to not only to us as operators of the company and brand partners, but also to our customers and to our patients and to our family and friends and who are all using these products? Well, you know, it goes back to the fact that CBD, just like THC, is a fat-based compound, very hard to dose, very hard to ingest and calculate how much are you absorbing. Individual variables of a person come into play. Everything is broken down by the liver that is orally ingested. So very little product gets into your bloodstream and then binds to those receptors. Well, if there's a way to bypass the issues we have with absorption and breakdown of the liver, then that's the best way to do it. If you see vaping and inhalation, people get immediate effects of CBD and THC. It is because it is going straight into the bloodstream, to the brain, and to the other downstream receptors throughout the body without being broken down by the liver. Now, we don't always necessarily want to be able to inhale or vape these products because there are issues with quality of products, lung damage, and inflammation and the unknown. So the meter dose inhaler kind of solves all of this. It is no different than what we use in asthma, where people are able to take an aerosolized product approved by the FDA and inhale it and get it down to the lung sacs where the oxygen exchange occurs between the lungs and the blood vessels. And that is where the oxygen exchange occurs and where the CBD particles go immediately into the blood and relatively immediately into the downstream receptors. Therefore, you feel it in minutes and it lasts for hours. And you have much more efficient use of the product. So there's very little wastage because you know exactly what you're getting from every inhalation. And it does this because it bypasses the whole issue of absorption. It bypasses the whole issue of the first pass metabolism through the liver. All of this is bypassed when you use an inhaled product through an MDI like this. Now, some of the things that, you know, that are a priority for Wellness Bioscience is safety and quality. So the company that we've worked with and talked to also has the same priority. They've spent years doing this. They've partnered with biopharma. They've used some of biopharma's scientists as well as their equipment. The propellant, which is the solution that pushes the aerosolized CBD into the lungs, is very important because that is coming into our body. So that propellant is already an FDA-approved propellant that they use for asthma inhalers. These guys aren't adding anything different. The isolate they use is CBD, and they will be getting and sourcing hopefully CBN and CBG for more inflammation and insomnia and other things as the data and the research comes out on these other cannabinoids and the pricing for the raw product comes down. But until then, the company has the same values as us. They track this to the point where they know exactly the farm that is cultivating the hemp. They know exactly how they're doing it. They make sure it's organic, make sure it's third-party tested, make sure it's pesticide-free. They then know and follow the processing to the GMP certified facility that is making the CBD isolate. They then source that isolate, test it, and they know it is a pure product. They then combine it with their propellant, and they have proprietary patented technology to do this. And they use biopharma, big biopharma's same equipment they use to make MDIs. And then they make the product and get it out to the market. And if you haven't tried this, I would urge you to try it. It's quite amazing on how fast it works and the actual relief you get. It's no different than somebody taking ibuprofen and feeling immediate relief for their joint aches and want to take it again. Well, this is very similar to how this product works, and it works immediately. And we are currently in a time where there is a lot of environment and stress associated anxiety. It is prevalent, it is everywhere. We already had a tremendous amount of it just because of our go, go, go lifestyle. We now have the COVID viral pandemic, the economic crisis, and people are coming in left and right with anxiety. And most of these people are not having underlying biochemical imbalance resulting in general anxiety disorder or major depression. Those people need to see their psychiatrist. These are people just having issues with regular life, which is all of us. So this is where a non-addicting, non-opiate or non-benzodiazepine plant-based product can come in and offer relief in terms of anxiety. And you can get it off the shelf, and you can feel and understand and know that we've vetted it, the company has vetted it, and it is safe, and it drives efficacy. You feel it, you feel better. And what better time than now to be able to talk to people about this, because once they get it and they try it, they will see the difference. It's vastly different than when we are prescribing Ativan and Xanax, because those compounds require more and more and more to work and lead to addiction, and they can kill you by shutting your respiratory drive down if you mix it with alcohol. You cannot overdose from a CBD, nor can you overdose from a CBD meter dose inhaler, nor is it addicting. So the conglomeration of all these characteristics make this an ideal product, and the fact that there is nothing like this on the market, that we have been able to now lock up and be able to pretty quickly vet and get out to our brand partners, and speaks a lot to Barry and Sean and to the whole company. So, we're excited about this. We want to keep hearing feedback from you and from all of our patients and friends and family who use this. But I think this product is a real game changer, and I think it's hitting really at the right time now.
Dr. Jasani, I'm going to ask you, we normally don't do this. We found huge value in it yesterday. Dr. Patel offered a little bit of Q&A. Do you have a few minutes to answer some questions? So with that said, guys, I'm going to turn the call over to my partner, Sean Baker, just to kind of head up a little Q&A and hear from some of the leadership that we have in our company. Guys, there's two things of the three things that we've talked about that have contributed to a significant growth for WBRx for the last couple of months during a time when a lot of companies aren't growing. And it's a leadership in two different areas, our brand partners and the medical professionals. So today is really a unique opportunity to hear from both. So with that, I'm going to turn the call over to you, Mr. Baker, and I'll let you take it away.
Hey, thanks, Barry. Great job as always. And Dr. Jasani, thank you. And before we move on too far too fast, let me give a late shout out to a happy birthday, Dr. Jasani. He had a birthday on Sunday, I believe it was. And so we celebrate you, and we appreciate all that you do day in and day out more than you know. What I'm doing, I'm looking at my screen. I've got all the tiles of the different people. And so I'll just go in order of who I see. First would be Ruben, then Ryan, then Michael, and then I'll kind of let you know who's on deck thereafter. But Ruben, do you have any questions of Dr. Jasani that you'd like to ask? This is obviously valuable time, so we want to keep it all brief. But at the same time, he's such a vast resource. We want to take advantage since we've got him on the phone. So any questions for Dr. Jasani, Ruben?
No, sir, Dr. Jasani. I will have to say that my son, my oldest, is going to start using it. And he's pretty excited. And just, I know this is not about the inhaler, but my son who's 19, who is suffering some anxiety, he has been taking the soft gel caps for the past 3 weeks, and he's doing very well. He's even noticed a change in himself. So he's actually looking at using the inhaler. And again, I want to say happy birthday, belated birthday.
Thank you.
Deserve that.
Thank you.
But other than that, I have no questions whatsoever. I've had some positive feedback. That's all
Awesome.
I can say.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you.
Ryan Rennick, I'll kick it over to you up in Dallas, having some great success. We appreciate all you're doing. We're excited about you. Any questions for Dr. Jasani?
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, happy birthday, or belated birthday, Dr. Jasani.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess one question I might have, and it's kind of more business related, and I guess you could have a better idea of this. So when it comes to, I guess, targeting or when going after certain and particular practices in the medical field, which obviously there's so many health benefits for CBD, but if you were to kind of give like a top 3 of kinds of medical practices or specific kind of doctors to kind of reach out or to kind of be prospects for WBRx, what doctors might those be?
Yes, it's a good question. So, I would say internal medicine and family practice are probably the biggest catch. Now, they have to be open to it. They have to be open to being educated about it. There is a good portion of physicians who really don't understand and don't know and will just stay away until, more federal regulations come in. And then there's a whole host that will be open to hearing and educating. Internal medicine, family practice, I think rheumatology, also because they deal with a lot of chronically ill who have a lot of pain issues. And then sometimes pulmonology if they have a sleep practice, because this is a good aid for, I think, insomnia. So it's another tool for practices that have a big sleep medicine component to it. But internal medicine, family practice are probably your biggest ones.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you. And that's all that
Yes.
I always love hearing what you have to say on these calls. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
everything.
And also chiropractic and physical therapy. Those are big ancillary, right? Those, are a given.
Gotcha. Great job. Thank you, Ryan. Michael, I'm going to kick over to you for any questions for Dr. Jasani, but then we're going to come back to you because I know you have some other stuff you want to share. So for now, just keep it specific to Dr. Jasani if you have anything, because we want to value his time and let him off the call as quickly as we can. But then I'll circle back to you because I know you've got some things you want to share with the community as well. So any questions for Dr. Jasani, Michael?
Well, Ryan kind of had my question, but I just want to wish Dr. Jasani a very happy birthday and thank you so much for all you do, because it's the science that gives me faith in what we're doing. It's the science and knowing what we're doing to help people is what really gets me jazzed up. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right. So Art, I'm going to go to you and then Bryce and then Mitchell. So Art, if you want to kick us off, if you have any questions of Dr. Jasani, make sure you unmute Art.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thanks. Dr. Jasani, thank you. Like always, everyone else, really appreciate your time and all you have to share. And happy birthday. Wishing you much happiness in the year ahead. I wanted to just share with you the experience I've had with the inhaler and ask if you've seen correlations to this. And I've got to share a little bit of my personal history, and I really don't mind, but I've been on a couple of strong medications, one called Suboxone and one called clonazepam, and I've been on them for 10 plus years. But since I've started the inhaler and adding on the gel cap, I've been able to reduce my doses by over 75% over the last almost 4 weeks. And I'm not having any kind of withdrawal symptoms. And so I'm thinking of, the recovery market and things like that. What's your thoughts on that? And have you seen any kind of experience with your patients?
Yeah, those are good points, and those are strong medicines, right? Clonazepam for 10 years, the body is used to it. It's not that easy to come off it. I'm sure the CBD inhaler probably helped wean that down a little bit. I do think that there's going to be a big role for this. It has to be data driven in the addiction medicine field. On how do we do and take people down off benzodiazepine addiction and opiate addiction utilizing combinations of THC and CBD. And I think the data will help drive this really from the psychiatric behavioral therapy world and the pain medicine world. And I think that from one angle, it will be used in lieu of opiates and anxiolytics like benzodiazepines, because this, CBD is unique. It binds to a different site of the CB1 receptor and to the GABA receptor. It's called allosteric binding. So we feel that the tolerance doesn't really build up actually with cannabinoids. You don't need higher and higher and higher doses, partly because of the way it binds and works on the receptor. And now, when you're looking at withdrawal and opiate withdrawal, that I think the data and trials are going to be needed with those specialists to see how to incorporate it. But you're a perfect example of using and switching to a plant or plant-based wellness product as an anxiolytic to help replace some of the benefits you were getting from clonazepam and Suboxone. So, and I do see this. I mean, people do come back and take these products and say, hey, my anxiety is better. And my anxiety was probably subtle, and maybe we were hitting it with a hammer and too big of a sledgehammer when we were giving people the only things we had, which were the clonazepams and Xanax and Ativan, because we didn't really have anything to reach into. But now we do. So, it may be a good stepwise way to really deal with this. And this is what I do preach is, we want to start with being cognizant of that and not going for the most strongest medicine, albeit some people need it. And you very well may have needed it. But, it's impressive that this has allowed you to wean down in 4 weeks to 70% of the dose that you've been on for 10 years. That's pretty good. So I'm glad you're feeling better.
Great job, Art. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Dr. Jasani. We'll kick it over now to Bryce, then Mitchell.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, I don't really have too many questions. I will wish a happy birthday to Dr. Jasani. Happy belated. But those are great questions from Michael and Art. And I just appreciate all your feedback and expertise on everything you provide for us.
Great. Mitchell, and then we've got someone on the call named Scott, and then Hunter, then Lucelle. I hope I'm saying that correctly. That'll be the order if any of you have questions. And if you don't feel obligated to ask any, but if you now's a great opportunity should you have any questions. So Mitchell, we'll go to you first.
All right, Sean, thanks for the opportunity to share. Again, happy birthday, Dr. Jasani, and all you do for the company. It's always just a great knowledge, the way that you deliver it. So definitely gives us a lot of confidence out there. Dr. Patel yesterday, he did a great job. He did a demo for the inhaler. I know some people have getting great results. I have a lot of people that are getting some great feedback. He showed us how, you don't have to make the inhalation such a big process. I think even maybe for myself at times or some other people, they might be inhaling too much. I mean, he showed us it was a very smooth process of how that comes in, because some people sometimes from time to time mention some irritation. I just wanted to see if from your perspective, is there anything else that might be causing an irritation in your feedback?
No, I don't think so. I think it has to do with the product, number one. That's why we don't have much irritation, because they've spent so much time formulating the right product. And then, as you said, you don't need to take a large, violent, inhalation of the product. As Dr. Patel has shown, it's just a smooth, simple maneuver, and it should flow right in. And you may feel something a little odd, but it shouldn't be anything that is upsetting or negatively affecting you or making you feel worse.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all that I had. Thank you.
Sure.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mitchell. Scott, welcome to the call. I think you must be a first-time joiner. If you have any questions of Dr. Jasani, feel free to unmute your phone and ask away.
Yeah. Hey, this is Teresa Roby. I'm Scott's wife, actually. He's on.
Hi, Teresa.
Yeah, I just wanted to just say thanks for including us. My company, Sacred Leaf, is on here. Lucella is the other co-owner for Sacred Leaf. And we were just interested in the inhaler. And when I took it, and Bryce was there with me, I noticed a burning in my throat. He said it was probably the way I took it. I didn't breathe it in correctly. But if we were to purchase this product and give it to our customers, how would we necessarily give that information to them to let them know that if it does burn, that it's normal, or how to explain to them how to do it correctly?
I'll tackle that one. Dr. Jasani, you're welcome to provide feedback as well. But one of the things from a marketing perspective that we do is we do provide, we can send you some links of videos. There's one of a young lady that's showing you, and it's a narrative. It's got some music in the background, and she's using it, and it's got a narrative. And then Dr. Patel did a great job yesterday, live call, which we've recorded. We can shoot the recording where he actually takes an activation from the inhaler himself, and you see that he does it very smooth. He holds his breath, he lets out, he walks you through it verbally, and he showed, I think there was about a dozen of us on the call yesterday, and it just looked like he was just breathing plain old air. So we can, from a corporate perspective, we can get you some of that information that you can then pass on to your customers and your patients. And of course, any sort of narrative that you want to type up. Dr. Jasani, is there anything you'd like to add to that, sir?
No, that is exactly what I was going to say. That's the best way to do it.
Okay. Beautiful.
Sean,
thank you.
It might be valuable for Teresa to know that on each MDI, in the back of the box has a QR code that takes you directly to the video. So, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the video, but I was just trying to think, like, is there some way that we can kind of explain it to them that, if it does burn, not to be, freaked out by it, that it's something that you can get used to or fix, or, something like that.
Or it may not occur on every occasion.
Right.
It may be because until you start to really understand how to take it in, it may abate later. So don't, give it a few tries and see, and then educate them, and then kind of get an idea on if it's still happening.
Okay. Thank you. And happy belated birthday.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for joining the call. So getting down to the end here, we've got Hunter Martin, and then Lucelle, and then I believe out of California, we've got Al Cheek, and that will conclude everyone on the call that will have had the opportunity to speak. So Hunter, you go first. Lucelle and Al, you're on deck if you have any questions. Okay, go ahead, Hunter.
Hey guys, thanks Sean, and thank you, Dr. Jasani, for everything that you do, sir, and happy belated birthday. I can tell you I've learned a significant amount of information and been educated very well through you, and just appreciate all that you're doing for us, and look forward to the continued success. So I don't have any further questions, and I'll kick it back over to you, Sean.
Thank you very much. Lucelle?
Hi, this is Lucelle with Sacred Leaf. How are you?
I'm good, Lucelle. I think we have a little bit of a connection challenge. You're coming through a little broken up, but we're doing great. Thanks for joining the call.
Hello.
Hi there.
Thank you. No questions here. I'm good.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then last but not least, Al, I believe that's you out in California, 805 number. If you'd like to ask any questions, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Perfect. Happy birthday, doctor. And this is Al Cheek from California. I pretty much want to just respond on the products. I've been in the health and fitness industry since '77, and I've known Barry Koshu since back then. And I do take the CBD, which works excellent. I take the sleep that helps me. And I also, take the balance. So basically, I take all the products. And for me, I no longer take Valium. I no longer take sleeping pills. I don't drink any alcohol. And then I have a friend that was on Ambien. I did some research, and helped her wean off of Ambien, and she takes sleep. So I thank Wellness Biosciences for the products and the opportunity. Those of you on the phone listening, take advantage of the fact that the doctors there, Sean and Barry, to help you out in Texas, because once they come to California, I'm going to be utilizing them, and I may not send them back. So all I got to say is a great company, excellent leadership, excellent products. If the products weren't any good, I wouldn't take them. My body is pure. I played NFL football for the Atlanta Falcons, and I put high quality foods in my body, period. I'm 60 years old, and I'll take on a 30 or 20-year-old any day. God bless all of you. Thank you for your time.
I've seen Al in pictures and photos, and I'm 20 years younger, and I wouldn't even dare go to scuffle with him. So what he says is true. So thank you, Al, for everything. Dr. Jasani, any closing remarks before we cut you loose? We've got a couple other things we got to cover, but we just really want to honor and respect your time. Any closing remarks from you, sir?
Nope, that's good. I really like hearing the feedback. I think it continues to help. So those are excellent. I'm glad everyone's getting benefit. That is the key.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We wish you the best. Please stay safe out there. We'll all be praying for you. And if you need anything from us, we're just a phone call away. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Barry, before I kick it back over to you, I know that Michael Vandiver and I were talking. Michael's got a lot of activity going on within his organization. He's doing a lot of work on himself to be a better and stronger leader every day. We had a wonderful meeting this week with a pain management and pain intervention doctor that's going to be coming on board with us. And so Michael's just having great results out in the field, but as well, he's having phenomenal results with the product. And I think he had something he wanted to share, and then I'll kick it back over to you. So first to you, Michael.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, these are exciting times for us. And, it's kind of unusual because so many people are in despair. And as I think about what is going on in my life right now, I just have a different perspective than a lot of people in my neighborhood and people I come in contact with. And I started thinking about it and what is causing this. And I really, it comes back to the CBD. And when I learned of CBD and met Sean and Barry, I started consuming the product. The gel caps, the sleep, the balm, the energy, the gel caps is something you notice. I noticed right away. And now after I'd taken it a week or so, it kind of blended into the new norm. It was no longer so significant, but I did notice it. And it's like Chance said, it's one of those rear view mirror products where you realize after you've been taking it a while, what's been going on, you've been more productive. So I experienced that. And so as I think about what is unfolding, and what has got me so excited, I think about the leadership of the company. And I mean, listen to Dr. Jasani talk, what Sean and Barry, what they bring to the table, what so many of these brand partners that are on this call right now and that are not. The leadership is outstanding, but that's not what has me so excited. The culture of the company, it fires me up. I mean, to know that we have a group of doctors that are educating other doctors, and we all benefit because of this education process and the science behind it. That is outstanding, but that's not what has me so fired up. The compensation. Let me tell you something. There is some serious money going to be made with this company, and I plan on being one of them. But that's not what has me so excited. What has me so excited is what the CBD has done for me personally. I mean, to me, the one that stands out the most is the clarity of thought. When I started consuming CBD, my thoughts are clearer. So as a result, when I'm starting my day in scripture, the Bible comes alive. because my thoughts, I can think and process, and I don't get distracted. I stay in what's being said in the word, and then that just flows throughout my whole day.
I think we may have lost Michael there at the end, but great job, Michael. Awesome. I think just had a connection issue, but yeah, the product, always leading with the product, having product available and using product on a consistent basis. People, do experience phenomenal results. And I tell you, it is often a rear view mirror product, not so much for the balm. From my perspective, I can use the balm and experience something, immediately in the inhaler. But like when I quit taking our balance capsule for just 2 or 3.
Okay, I think we lost you, Sean. Are you there? We lost him. Well, guys, listen, we're going to go ahead and conclude the call. I want to say to everyone that's taken the time to be here today, we certainly do appreciate your time. Guys, we're at a unique time and place where we're a company that's literally having explosive growth at a time where people are trying to figure out what to do. We've got people that are generating $400, $800, $1,200, $2,200, $2,700, $4,300 during a time where supplemental income is not necessarily easy to accomplish, when you're in an isolated situation or there's just a number of challenges right now that we're facing. And I just want to commend the brand partners and the leadership that you guys have exhibited. You've made a conscious decision and a choice to, to just, literally focus on the vital few rather than the insignificant many, and not let what's on the outside get on the inside. I think that the symbolic, the thing that we use as an example is a boat in troubled waters never has difficulty as long as the water doesn't get in. So the trouble's never inside the boat. And that same wind that's blowing on everybody right now at the same time, I mean, we're all facing the same challenge. It really is just it's a personal choice as to how you set your sail through the challenging winds that are going on out there. And I just want to commend you guys for doing what's required to build and develop your business. You're having great success as a company. As we now conclude the month of April, take advantage of these special pricing opportunities with the MDIs because they won't stay forever, guys. We're going to have to move the pricing of that MDI much closer to the suggested retail price that we started with. We know that we're in challenging times, but take advantage of the pricing now. It was at a very, very low price in March. It increased a little bit in April and will continue to do so. So just take advantage of it. Make sure that the people that are out there take advantage of it. We've already agreed for those people that are in the retail space for the price that they are starting at. We're going to go ahead and manage that pricing and maintain it, and we'll adjust the commissionable volume. But we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to take clear advantage of utilizing this product that's having phenomenal results for a lot of different reasons. So guys, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Be safe. Definitely adhere to all of the recommendations that are made, by our, by the governing bodies, and it doesn't matter whether you agree or you don't agree. It's about measure of rule, right? So we all have to adhere to that measure of rule. And some people get offended because I know their civil liberties are at stake, and I understand that. But the most important thing, guys, is to be safe. This time will pass. There is a light. It's on the other side of it. And once we move into that stage where we can actually get together and we can meet in groups of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 at a time, I think that you're going to see Wellness Biosciences become one of the premier companies in the space, and we're going to do some magnificent things together. So appreciate all of your time and attention, brother. Great job today on the call, and we appreciate everybody. So we'll talk to you guys very soon. God bless. Have a great day.